Okay, we are live. It's with Emily and Kathleen with the Lunchtime Hangout Mindset. And today we have an amazing guest with us. We've got Karen Hill, who is a retired grandmother. She's 71 and just busting it in this business. And we can't wait to hear Karen's story. Welcome, Karen.
Welcome, Karen.
Thanks. I'm so honored. Such a thrill. I didn't realize I was a star.
Well, you are. You are. It's our pleasure to bring you on. It's our pleasure to celebrate you and to share you with our viewers and to be able to hear your inspiring story, being retired, still making money, supporting your retirement income and your retirement lifestyle. So we really look forward to the value that you're going to give to our viewers. So thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for asking me. It's real, like I said, it's really an honor. I love both of you girls.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Karen, give us a little background, just because a lot of people think that you have to come from, a lot of people feel that you have to have come from a very educated background, or you've had to be this, or you've had to be that. As a youngster, what kind of environment did you grow up in?
Oh, I was born and raised in Wichita, Kansas, and so it sounds kind of country, but it's really not because we were raised in the city.
Uh-oh.
And, we were pretty blue collar. My mom worked for Boeing, and my dad was sick for years, my stepdad, and so, she was kind of the breadwinner. So I come from a real long history of strong women, and both of my grandmothers were kind of pioneers in their day, and they both lived into their 90s, but still pretty blue collar. And as kids we went out, we rode our bikes till dark, and when Dad whistled, we came home, and so yeah, just pretty normal. I wasn't a happy child. I had a lot of responsibility very early in life. By 9 or 10, I was helping with the cooking and the cleaning because Dad was sick, Mom worked. Grandmother lived with us, which wasn't the best thing in the world for me. But so I left home early. I got married at 15, and was one of the few in those days, so that was like in the late 50s, that wasn't pregnant and got married. I just got married. So that, I don't know if that made me dumber or...
I don't think so.
It was just an escape route, But out of that, I had 2 beautiful children. I was married for 15 years, got divorced, got pregnant again, then got divorced, and then actually life started going because I really didn't realize up to that point that I was a person. Wow. I was just a doormat type of thing, I was seen and not heard and rarely seen, and so yeah, it wasn't.
So it seems like you have really overcome a lot then to come, but you've got a very strong background.
Yes, yeah. I spent the first half of my life being a mouse, and when I hit about 30, I realized that I had a voice, and I was a person. I had a personality. People actually wanted to hear what I had to say, and that really was the end of my marriage because, you know, that it wasn't appreciated, the fact that I all of a sudden was my own person. So, and I just got stronger from there. I had a lot of support in good friends and family, and I left Southern Florida with a 3-month-old and a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, and came out to Washington, where my folks were. I left Southern Florida and came to Washington. And, you know, then life started out here. So I feel I've lived three lives. And when I look back now, I don't even know. It seems like it was a whole nother person, the other 2 lives. I don't even, you know, other than you talk about it, but I don't even think about that much anymore. So, you know, advantages of being 70, I suppose.
I think that has to do with just these stages in lives and the growth process and what we learn from life, the lessons that we have, and as we grow, particularly if we enter into marriages young, we may in fact grow or outgrow our partners, which is, you know, tragic on one hand. It's truly a shame that we can't always just grow together. And so it does require that we step out and we get brave and we do the things that we need to do to move forward in our lives. And it sounds very much like you did. And that's quite a change from Southern Florida to Washington State. Yeah. So, so a lot of growth happened in that time frame. What have you done career-wise through your life? I know you're retired now. Would you mind sharing a little bit about your work history?
Oh, no. I, of course, got married at 15, so I dropped out of school as a sophomore in high school, and I made it through the 10th year, and then was pregnant, and so I dropped out of high school, and when I was pregnant with my 3rd child, I started taking some night classes to get my GED, and I really never even completed that process. But once I got to Washington, I kind of started the self-development cycle. I started reading Wayne Dyer, and I read everything he wrote. I think I could, back in the day, quote most anything from him. And then I became so I met Bob. My mom had a little diner, and I met my husband. And 6 weeks later, we were married. And you would think somebody that left the turmoil that I left would not get married again a year later, but, you know, what can I say?
It was fun, right?
And so, you know, I just found, I started to work when the youngest was 2. My sister's sister-in-law had a flower shop. And so I started working in the flower shop, taking orders and answering the phone. And I kind of had a knack for the artistry side, and so I became a floral designer. And I became one of the top designers in the city of Everett in Washington. And so I did that for 7 years. Loved it. But I hated the fact that every holiday was ruined for me because we worked 7 days a week and 20 hours a day. And, you know, so at the end of Mother's Day and Valentine's Day and Christmas, you were just exhausted. And so I kind of gave that up and went, and in that process, I kind of learned to work in the office. And then I started looking for just secretarial type of things, and a friend worked in a Western shop, and she said, you know, we need somebody to take the phone payments and things like that. And so I went in to do that, and then the store sold, and she was the bookkeeper, so she quit. And the new owner said, "Oh, you can do this." And I said, "No, I can't." I said, "I don't have any training in the bookkeeper." He said, "Oh, there's nothing to it." So we had an awesome accountant, and he literally taught me how to be a bookkeeper. And so it was just kind of a hands-on thing, and you know, he kept reinforcing me and saying, "You can do this, and you're smart, and blah blah." And yeah, I found out I could do that.
It's amazing when somebody edifies you and gives you that encouragement, what you can keep doing, isn't it?
Yes, it was amazing, and I was so proud of myself. I was shocked and proud at the same time. And so then I went on to do a couple of more things like that, and I took a couple of years off, and I took a tax class, and I took some art classes, and I did this, and I did that, and I just took time for myself as much as you can with a toddler. And then when I wanted to go back to work, I was going to work just temporary, and I went to interview at this place. It was a marine electronics company, and the job ended up being credit and collections. And I said, "Oh, I don't want to do that. You know, there's no way I want to ding people and, you know, call and complain. You know, I said, I just don't think it's my gig." And he said, "Oh, come on, give it a try." And well, I ended up being there 15 years, and I took an accounts receivable from awful to down to less than 45 days. And it took me 5 years to do it, but I set company records. I just had a knack, and you know, all of a sudden it didn't bother me because it was just a debt owed. It wasn't personal, and I wasn't collecting personal credit. So I wasn't like taking food out of their mouths. It was just, it's a business. So you bought our product, you owe us for our products, and now pay it. And I made hundreds of awesome friends all over the world, because this was a worldwide company. And those people to this day, a lot of them are still my very good friends that I got in their pocket and took their money.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
So I retired from there.
Oh, so you have quite the strong background, a myriad of experiences. You had the mindset training, and you had these experiences that sort of fortified your knowledge that you can do this, because you actually did do it over and over. And the phone calling, I think, would have been fantastic for your ability to do well now. So you're in online marketing. When did that start up, and how has that been for you? Could you share with our viewers, because one of the things that we would love to be able to give them is a sense that, look, here's a beautiful woman, a retired grandmother, and you know, she has a normative kind of background, and she can do this, and she can succeed. Would you mind sharing some of that information with us?
No, you know, my brother, my older brother, had been dabbling in online marketing for years, and I would see his stuff come across on my news feed, and I would say, "Oh, for God's sake, you know, what's he trying to do now?" type of thing, and because he was always kind of the black sheep. Sorry, Gene, but so, you know, facts are facts. So, you know, he never pushed it at me. We never talked about it. And so I retired in 2007. So in 2010, he called me one day and he said, "You know, I've never talked to you about this type of stuff, but he said, this thing I think is going to be awesome. He said, and I wouldn't even talk to you about it if I didn't think you would be successful. And I said, well, I said, oh, all right, I'll give it a shot. What the heck, you know. By that time I was bored. I'd been retired a couple of years, so I said, oh, all right. And so we got into this little project, and of course it went nowhere. And the next 4 or 5 went nowhere, mainly because they were, you know, now I know that, but mainly because they were cycler type situations. There wasn't any stability. You know, the government kept shutting them down, or somebody had run off with the money, and
Could
you know,
could you now spot something like that, Karen? Do you think? I mean, because what we want to do too is help our viewers to not get caught up in something like that. That, you know, what type of thing would they look for to? Do you have an idea to stay? You know,
well,
something that would raise a red flag.
well, anything except the one I'm in now, probably.
Which we are non-company specific here. I don't know if we mentioned that to you. But we, Kathleen and I, and part of what our hope is with interviewing folks is that there is a degree of due diligence that we need to do.
Yeah.
And I'm a businesswoman. I'm a CPA, and I often consult with clients relative to business opportunities and whatnot. And so there is that need to do the due diligence, and so there probably are some kinds of factors, or what do you look for in due diligence now, or what led you, I suppose, to the company you're with now?
Well, you know, I was kind of a follow the leader. You know, first it was my brother. You know, I just kind of followed him from thing to thing, and he'd been in it a long time, and so I thought, well, he must know what he's doing, right? And so, you know, we just kind of hopped from here to here to here, and lost money, and I mean, didn't lose thousands, but lost, you know, hundreds for sure. And so, and then I found a really good mentor, and so I started paying attention to him, and even with him, we hit a couple of bad roadblocks, and so I'm saying, geez, you know, how I'm not sure how the normal person figures this out. If somebody that's been in it 20 years can still get hoodwinked, you know what I mean? It's kind of sets you back. And so come to find out, you just really have to research it. You do have to do your due diligence. You have to look at the company. You have to look at the track record. You have to look at the people that are behind it. And so I think I just don't think you can jump from shiny object to shiny object, which is a very coined phrase now, but easy money is not easy money. And
Yeah, that's correct.
you might get in a cycler and you might make one cycle, but then it's going to be gone. And so
I think that's, you know, really good advice for people to really, you know, look at things and
yeah.
see who it is that is in the company, and
Yeah.
what the company is all about. I think that's great advice.
Yeah, and you know, we often hear that that same story from many of the leaders who are now doing well. That it's like one I can think of. They like to say that they're a 7-year overnight success.
Yeah.
7 years of a couple of companies not making any money, but part of it too is learning how to market. Learning the craft, learning what to look at, or what products. Perhaps they were involved in some kind of products. They realized that, you know, it sounds like people are making money, but they're not finding the people that want that kind of product. Yeah. So they having the right product, but also having a passion, because I think sometimes if and maybe this will ring true for you as well, Karen, they get into some kind of shiny object because they're following somebody who has, but it doesn't resonate inside of them as being what they could like put their life energy into. And they say if it's not something that you love or that you can get your arms around, that you don't have passion about, then don't, it's probably something that's going to be conveyed communicatively to the people you're trying to sell to. And so a number of them have mentioned that it just wasn't something that they had a passion about. So maybe passion is part of the due diligence.
I think
And I think one of the other things too is I think it has to resonate with your morals and your values in life. Yeah. Because if it goes against that, it doesn't matter how good the opportunity might be, you can't put it out there. You will stop yourself because it will come across in some way in how you're presenting it that won't be real.
Yes. Something else I think was I didn't get into it because of some passion. I just got into it to have something to do. And so I really I didn't lay any groundwork for myself. I had no plan. It wasn't a plan. It was just dabbling. And so really until I sat down, because, personally, I don't need a lot of things. I mean, we have a small house. We have a summer place on the river. Everything we have is paid for. So I don't have a lot of big wants and needs. I wanted to travel, which was kind of a driving force to begin with. And now it's not even so much that. So I needed to set up a game plan. So I became a business. And so now when I come into my office, I shut the door. And so then, I'm kind of at work type of thing. And so when the door's shut, I'm not interrupted. I don't have a lot of distractions. I don't have children, and I've got the dogs. But, and so once I had a game plan, and now I have just this week, I did my DMO, which it's so easy when you're retired to be a procrastinator. And I told my brother the other day, I said, I am the worst. I said, it's so simple because you've always got later today or tomorrow because there's really nothing, that you're required to do. And I have found that I work better with structure and a plan. And so really just the last few weeks I've been even narrowing that gap down. So now on my wall I have my DMO. I cordoned off my office to where I don't have any distractions, thanks to Emily. And I don't know, Emily, can you see?
I can see better now. I've been kind of glancing, looking around. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
My office. And so now not only can I deduct it in taxes, but it really is, I mean, just in 2 days, it's so less distracting that I have found in 2 days I'm more productive than I was, and so I just think it's a go up from here.
Excellent, excellent. You definitely stepped up your game in terms of mindset. You made a decision. You set your mind. You've got truly a profit motive driving force going now. you captured your space, because we were talking about the home office and the deductibility and what you need to meet the requirements for the Internal Revenue Code for deductibility. But in the concept, in the discussion with that, I can see you took that discussion and you've actually manifested it in your space, and as a result, in 2 days, you're already feeling an empowerment, if you will, a focus. And many of us home-based business folks suffer from that because we don't have the deadlines. It's a lot easier for us to procrastinate and put things off. So having whatever kind of structure we have, and having a space that is structured like that is very beneficial. And you are actually making money nowadays, I understand.
I am, for the first time, actually making money. I mean, I'm making enough money that it makes a difference.
Wow. Love it.
It's very exciting, and so now I have more of a passion. But my passion now is, how can I help other people? So, like I said, I don't have any big personal passion other than I want to have enough money to not be a burden to my children. If something would happen to one of us, medical-wise, you start thinking about that stuff when you're in your 70s, more so. And we were pretty blue-collar, so we don't have any huge retirement set aside, or so we're just trying to chuck enough money away to take care of ourselves and not be a burden to the kids financially.
And and I think there's an awful lot of people out there in your same situation, Karen, that would love to have that bit of extra income that can make a difference, and to know that they're not too old to start.
Exactly.
Because, what would you say it's been the last couple of years, or how long has it been since you feel that you're kind of getting a handle on this now?
I think I've really only gotten a handle on the last year. So 2010, I was just playing at it. I wasn't just winging it type of a thing. And I was doing it to humor my brother and help him more than anything. And so, he needed somebody to join his team so he could make a few bucks, that type of thing. So 2012, I think I began to get, maybe I should be serious about this if I'm going to spend this kind of time and set other things aside, that I really should probably be serious. And then I think in the last year, then I've gotten really serious. And
it's paying off for you now.
Certainly. And then again, it's finding the right company, the right people. I'm surrounding myself with people like you and Emily and Jeremy and Steve, and so it's just it's a whole different ball game when you and I got to meet you guys personally at an event last year. Last November, I think. And
it makes a difference when you go pro. And I think that's really what you decided last year, I think, was really when you made that decision to go pro. And as a result, this is when you see the results. You're getting to the events, you're getting the training, you're focused on being in a community of other marketers who are taking this seriously and growing professionally, reading the right books, getting the mindset training, and really learning the craft. And I think that's the secret. On that, we are going to have to wrap this up because our half hour has flown by.
Well, see, Karen, I told you I was old. I had a lot of story.
But Karen, it's so nice that you share that, and it helps so many other people like I say, that might be in your situation. And
I hope
you know,
so.
Karen is on Facebook for anybody that wants to connect with her. She's got her name right underneath her there, Karen Hill. Awesome lady. So glad that you could be with us, Karen.
Thank you so much, you guys. I love you both.
Likewise.
you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to having you join us tomorrow for Lunchtime Mindset Matters with Kathleen and Emily. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.